The movie begins with Travis, a rookie armored truck pickup driver. He meets with a bank receptionist for his regular pickup where he meets Zoe, a charming young lady, who asks to borrow his pen and Travis is immediately attracted to her. After giving her the pen, he receives the packages from the bank reception and is about to head out, when Zoe offers him a piece of paper to read the content. Travis assumes that she was trying to rob the bank and pulls out his gun to point it at her, asking Zoe to lay on the floor. Zoe pleads with him to calm down and read what's on the note as she didn't mean no harm. Later we see Travis and Zoe having a good time talking in a fancy restaurant. Turns out she just wrote her number on the piece of paper and wanted Travis to call her. He apologizes for the misunderstanding and thanks Zoe for not reporting the incident to his superiors because that would obviously get him fired, and Zoe offers to spend the night with him. Russell prepares for work that morning, as he wakes his wife from sleep to wish her a happy anniversary as today marks their 25 years of being a couple. Russell promises to come home early that evening to take her on a special date. At the depot station Russell learns that he'd be working extra hours today. Getting frustrated Russell approaches his boss Mr. Clark, and pleads with him to reduce the shift hour, reminding Mr. Clark that he wrote to him last week about his anniversary which is today, but the boss doesn't care about that and requests he does his job or quit. Left with no choice Russell accepts to do the shift. Turns out he'd be partnering with Travis to do the pickups. At that moment Travis gets to work to tell his co-workers that he got laid last night with a baddie. Russell with his no-nonsense personality addresses Travis to be on his best behavior and points out that they need to do things smoothly and on time because he needs to get home to celebrate his 25th wedding anniversary and doesn't want to miss it. Travis promises that he'd make sure he gets home in time, revealing that he aced his precision driving portion while he was training at the police academy. However, Russell could tell he's lying because if he did pass the driving test Travis would be here as a truck driver. Travis assures Russell that he would do everything in his power to make sure he gets home to do the naughty with his wife, even gesturing how he'd do it. Russell is disgusted and warns Travis to keep his wife's name out of his mouth and focus on their mission. In a shady environment, Banner and Miguel are about to face off when Zoe cuts in. Banner doesn't like the new guy and asks Zoe what happened to the previous guy, and she tells him he got shot and couldn't make it. Turns out Zoe is the head of this criminal group as she starts to brief them on their next heist. Zoe tells the men that they have a mission which is to intercept an armored truck. They're going to tail the truck and get it to a dead zone where they have 70 minutes to take control of the truck and make $60 million. Miguel asks about the guard that would be driving the truck, and Zoe tells him that they won't be a problem. As Travis and Russell head to their destination, Travis gets bored and plays his favorite hip-hop music much to Russell's disgust. While they pick up different packages Travis keeps eating different junk foods until he starts feeling uncomfortable and ends up gassing up the whole truck. 89 miles from the Atlantic City, Russell is getting tired of the music so Travis turns it off. Travis tries to make small talk and tells Russell it's an honor to be paired up with him because he thought he's supposed to retire 6 months ago. Russell replies that he's not retiring but moving on to a new career, making Travis to comment that he must be scared because his generation doesn't try anything new. While they talk a call comes in, Travis picks the beeper and it's their boss Clark calling to ask if Travis went to one of their customers' bank to pick up and pull a gun at one of their customers. Travis said it's been handled but the boss tells him that the bank pulled their contract on every branch because of his reckless act and fires Travis on the spot. Before the call ends the manager insults him by telling him that the fact that he applied to become a cop is a joke to him because to him he shouldn't be anything more than a janitor. Travis ends the call and starts to cry. He calls himself a loser, while Russell tries his best to calm him, telling him to drive a little faster so they can do the pickup faster. Meanwhile behind them are two cars approaching the truck from behind. While Travis keeps crying about how he's just a failure to himself and his family, Russell notices the cars driving closely behind them. He calls Travis attention to it but he's still emotional and doesn't notice when the other car pulled up in front of him. Now the cars are close enough to each other and Zoe comes out of the sunroof with a cardboard in her hand with some note written on it telling them to pull over so they don't get hurt. Travis is starting to panic because he didn't get an actual training, revealing that he got his certification through a 15-hour course online. Russell tries to call the station but the line remains static. Zoe pulls out another paper which says they're in a dead zone and they're all alone. Russell is starting to wonder how they knew their route and stares at Travis for some answers but he denies knowing anything about it. Another card says break or die. Travis thinks if they stop and they take everything in the truck they'd probably kill them both so they're not stopping. Zoe offers them a last chance to comply but they insist. Zoe then signals to the car on the side and a tear gas is thrown inside the truck through an opening at the side of the truck. Russell rushes back and takes out Travis' lunchbox. He puts the gas inside the box and closes it. He takes a can of energy drink and douses it on Travis' face to reduce the burns and throws the same thing to himself. With Zoe's instructions the truck's tire is short with an arrow. Travis manages to drive through the panes and pushes the other car on the rails of the road. The other driver presses a button which allows him to go ahead but this causes him to hit the other car, allowing the pickup truck to move freely while the other cars are sent moving in different directions. Russell opens the air vent and the back door to allow the gas to leave the truck after which they discuss on what to do next. Travis makes a smart calculation on how they can escape their pursuit, leaving Russell to wonder why he wants to become a cop and not a rocket scientist. Now stuck on the side of the road, Banner asks Zoe that he thought she said these men weren't going to be a problem, and Zoe reminds him that people are uncontrollable variables, which means they can't calculate people's response in certain situations. Still on the road, they hear one of their tires making some weird noises, so they decided to stop at a spot to fix it. Meanwhile, Zoe and his men are still tailing them. Seeing someone approaching with their car, Travis stands on the sideway with a thumbs up, hoping that his white privilege would get the couple to stop and help them, but they simply speed past Duo. While fixing the truck, they hear Zoe's car approaching, so they hurriedly fix the hole in the tire and starts driving, opposite to them, facing Zoe in a standoff. Because it's a pickup truck, Zoe and her goons move out so he can pass, but they quickly turn to give chase. Now that Zoe and his men are close enough to the truck, Miguel climbs out through the sunroof and jumps to grab the pickup from behind. Travis tries moving the truck sideways to shake him off, but this doesn't work as Miguel's grip appears to be tight. Using a special tool, Miguel starts drilling in through the back door. The other car in front tries to hold them up by applying his brakes, forcing Russell to take out his gun and open fire on the guy behind the truck. Fortunately for Miguel, he's protected by the helmet so he doesn't get hurt. He fires back and almost hit Russell, causing him to almost fall off and dropping his weapon in the process. Now they're scared for their lives and thinks maybe they should get rid of the money since that's what they want. Russell then kicks the back door open, which leaves Miguel dangling from it. Russell takes out a bag of cash and starts throwing the cash at them, hoping this would make them stop or go away. When this doesn't work and Banner starts shooting at them, Russell sees a bundle of cash with a die written on it. He throws it in one of the car, which covers the windscreen with a blue paint. He takes another one and throws it inside the car through the sunroof, which explodes and causes Banner to lose control of the car, causing the car to crash on the side of the road. Miguel manages to get back in the truck and a fight ensues. Travis calls the depot station to report the situation, but because of the dead zone they couldn't hear each other. Russell on the other hand manages to beat up Miguel. As a final gesture, Russell takes out the die cash, places it on Miguel's body before kicking him out of the truck. With Zoe the only one left, Russell takes out a bunch of silver coins and throws it at the car. The impact causes Zoe to lose control of the car and the vehicle ends up crashing. Thinking they're finally safe and everything's over, their joy is cut short when Zoe appears to be alive with a gun in her hand. In a shady barn, Travis still thinks it's their boss Clark behind all this. Zoe reveals her true identity to them. Travis is the only one shocked, because now he remembers that last night, he was with the same lady and got drunk with her, and because of this he started telling her everything about his life and even shared their truck routes. Afterward she makes the men stand up and searches them for anything they could use against her. In the process Zoe finds Russell's wedding ring and takes it, offering to give it back when she's done with them. She reveals her plan to steal $60 million with a pickup truck and make them work for her since they took out the men that was working with her. Russell thinks her request is absurd because the truck only had $300,000 in it, not $60 million, and they already threw the money out during the chase. Zoe then tells the men that she only wanted the truck, all they had to do was get out of the truck and let her men take it from there, and now they have to take their place, and if they refuse to play along she would kill them. Later inside the truck, Travis thanks Zoe for not telling Russell that they spent the night together and got drunk, which made him reveal all their routes, and all of this is his fault. Meanwhile on the road, Banner and Miguel are still alive and now they think she ghosted them, so they plan to kill her. Now out of the dead zone, Zoe makes them call the depot to report that everything's fine, but instead Travis ends up making fun of his boss for firing him. Zoe checks their phones where she learns that Russell's wife Natalie has called him several times. Zoe then hands Russell the phone and asks him to call his wife back, and tell her everything's fine so she doesn't have to worry or come looking for him. Natalie also makes a call, asking one of his henchmen to look out for Natalie, so whenever Russell doesn't follow her orders Natalie's life would be used as insurance. Zoe makes the men drive into a chop shop where she asks a mechanic to help them fix the car so it doesn't look suspicious, so he asks them to wait an hour for him to fix it. With this Zoe takes them to a restaurant to eat. Inside she explains the mission to them, which is to rob a casino. The plan is to take the truck to the Sorrento Casino at exactly 2:45 p.m. 15 minutes before the scheduled pick, which means they need to pretend to be the actual pickup truck. Zoe would have one of her guys change the RFID numbers on the truck so it can grant them passage through the security checkpoint. Once they're in, they would pick up $60 million in cash, which they would take for themselves. Sam thinks the plan won't work because the security are extra cautious because they can notice any small nuance, but Zoe assures everyone that once they do what they're supposed to, things would turn out just fine. Then she gets a text from the mechanic telling her that the truck is ready. She cuffs Russell to the side of the table before taking Travis to the restroom and makes him strip so she can take his guard uniform. When they get back, Russell is gone. As they walk outside to look for him, they're suddenly attacked by Russell. Zoe tries to use her gun, but Travis grabs it from Zoe and points it at her. Russell then pushes her to the ground, telling her he's done and to call his men to stay away from his wife. Turns out she has another gun which she points at Travis and he easily gives up the weapon. At that moment Russell realizes that Travis has coerced with Zoe and punches Travis when he gets close enough. Zoe admits that Travis is indeed her inside man, but she had to do it because there was no other way. As they get back to the mission, Travis apologizes to Russell, saying he hasn't been the same since he failed cop exam. Russell tries to tell him that hooking up with someone he just pointed a gun at should have been a red flag, but he's too dumb to know that. Meanwhile at the chop shop, Miguel and Banner walks into the mechanic stashing his money. They ask for where Zoe is headed. After getting the answer they need, they kill him. Back to the truck, Zoe ties up Travis and wants Russell to come with her into the casino. Travis threatens that he would ruin the whole operation, making Zoe to promise that once the robbery goes well they might end up running off together. Zoe tries to make them understand that she had a very emotional motive attached to the reason why she wants to rob the casino. She shares a story of when her dad used to work there at the casino as one of the security guards 17 years ago. One day there was a fire which triggered the vault's fail-safe, which automatically closes to protect the money. There were some security guards still trapped inside, so his dad sacrificed himself to get everyone out, but at the last minute her dad couldn't make it out, and the oxygen in the vault was running out and he ended up suffocating. Instead of paying for compensations and benefits, the casino owners said if he hadn't gone in there he would have been safe, leaving Zoe and her mom without any means of surviving. And now she wants to take what's important to them. During their discussion, Russell's wife Natalie arrives banging at the car window. She reveals that she put a tracker on him and wonders what's taking him so long to get home to their anniversary. Russell tries to explain the situation, but she barges in on them only for Zoe to put a gun on her and asks her to cooperate so that she doesn't get hurt. Inside the Sorrento Casino building, the group makes it to the security checkpoint, where one of the men thinks that they're a bit early. After scanning the RFID banner and seeing it matches with the one on their database, the group are cleared and allowed to get to the next phase. When they come out, one of the security asks about the regular pickup drivers, and Russell has to cook up a convincing story which the man believes and leads them to the vault. There they find an MMA fighter posing to take some photos in the vault, so they're forced to wait a couple of minutes for him to finish. Running out of time, Zoe manages to convince the fighter that his opponent is upstairs talking trash about his career and family to the media. Hearing this, the fighter decides to head out to defend his ego. Minutes later, they're allowed to take the money when one of the men recognizes Zoe. He points out that he knew her father and apologizes for what happened to him. Once the truck is loaded with the cash, the group makes it out of the building minutes before the actual pickup truck arrives. Zoe makes Russell drive to a stash house where she has a car parked ready to move out the money. At that moment Banner drives another truck from the side to hit them with it. This sends Russell's pickup truck to the other side and they end up passing out. Banner takes out all the money to the getaway car while Miguel pours some gas in the truck with the group still inside. Banner wakes Zoe up to tell her he's taking everything including the ring he found on her. Russell sees this and tells Travis to get on the driver's seat so he can reverse the truck while he cuts himself loose with a plier he found around the corner. Travis reverses the car, knocking out Miguel on the way. Banner starts to shoot, but Russell manages to find cover, avoiding all the bullets. Zoe sees the car approaching and lies flat for the truck to pass her without getting crushed. With this, Zoe manages to disarm Banner and takes the gun to start shooting it at him. Banner dodges all the bullets and hides in one of the car to take out another gun. He returns the fire and Miguel is caught in the crossfire. Zoe manages to get inside the getaway car and drives off. Banner takes Natalie hostage and shoots at Russell when he tries coming after him. Natalie starts to kick Banner for shooting her husband and he knocks her out for it before driving to chase after Zoe. Thanks to the vest, Russell is still alive and Travis starts the car to follow the rest. At that moment Miguel stands up and gets crushed by the truck. A chase ensues and Zoe starts to drive like crazy to prevent Banner from catching up. Unfortunately, Banner is a good driver too, so he gets close enough to push Zoe off the road. At that moment the police helicopter arrives above them with a couple of police cars giving chase from behind. Travis thinks they're safe now, but Russell reminds him that the police are actually after them because it's the truck that got the money out of the casino, so they're literally the bad guys. The heist has already made it to the news where their boss learns about it and causes them for stealing with his truck. Banner brings out his assault rifle which he uses to fire at the police car, sending their cars flying, causing a road to block. The chase continues down to a runway where Zoe has to choose between making it to her plane or saving the group. Travis manages to hit the other car from behind, causing it to stop, but unfortunately the pickup truck is now on fire. They stopping the vehicle, but the truck's brake isn't working anymore, so they literally decide to use the back door to jump out of the truck before it explodes, and Zoe manages to catch them with her own car, saving the men. Russell quickly gets into the car while Travis is left on the hood of the car. Banner opens fire on them, so they're forced to stop to find cover. As Banner tries to reload his gun, he's knocked out from behind by Natalie with a gun. Now that everything is over, Russell reunites with Natalie and Zoe invites Travis to join her, but he refuses, so she gives him a goodbye kiss. Russell reaches for Banner's pockets to retrieve his wedding ring. Soon the police arrives, but they're not arrested because of the video evidence on the truck that shows them being attacked. Travis reaches for his pocket where he sees Zoe's number written on a torn dollar note and turns around to chew it so he doesn't get caught. 6 months later, Zoe gets a call from Travis, who's now a cop, who quits his job so he could fly to Bali and be with her. Meanwhile, Russell and Natalie are now living in their own apartment celebrating with family and friends when he gets a box delivery. Upon opening it, he discovers a large amount of money with a note indicating that it came from Zoe and Travis as a thank you gift. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, and would love to see more from this channel, please like and don't forget to subscribe.